Hey, it's Derick Gant, the host of the 24K Life podcast, and I am here with Tyler, and Tyler is bringing it nuclear style. Nuclear. Listen, this dude worked for the government, 2 different agencies. Now he's doing his own thing, and it's nuclear, and we're bringing him in to tell us, what that really means, because he is interested in making sure that each and every one of us elevate, that we grow, and that he brings his message to the world about how he can help you grow in your personal life, in your business life, in your universal life, not just for yourself, but for others. Hey, like any other show, we are asking that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If we don't spread the word on how to live a better lifestyle, the 24K lifestyle, it just won't happen. Without any other ado, let me bring in my man. What's up, brother? What's up?
Hey, thank you for having me on. I'm excited.
Thanks for being on. It's Friday. We're both casual. Friday's my day I actually do work. Like work without seeing people, or I don't really don't schedule any meetings. So it was very nice to be able to relax, show up, be ready, and I was not even suited and booted, but this works, man. So how are you doing today?
I'm good. Yeah, I call like any days that I have where I don't have meetings, I just call them quiet work days. Sometimes those are holidays too, but
okay.
Yeah, it's nice just to be focused and kind of be loose. So feeling
now,
good.
Does the family buy that line, quiet work days? I mean,
yes. So okay. I have a little boy on the way in 3 weeks. And so that'll be like the bigger start of a family. But right now it's just my wife and I, and yeah, she's pretty, she buys the line. So,
all right. Well, she's not the one that we got to sell, man. It's the little one.
I know.
When they get here, I'll tell you a quick story, man, and we'll let you introduce yourself and your background. So when my kids were young, they're men now, but when they were young, they used to say day after Christmas, "Dad, you're going to work?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got to go to work." They go, "Why you got to go to work?" And so my boss is a tyrant. And they said, "Dad, we thought you were self-employed." I'd say, I am. He's a tyrant. They would look all funny, and then they would go, "Oh, Dad's got jokes."
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about your background, man.
Yeah, I as you had mentioned, started off in federal law enforcement. So I worked for the IRS, Department of Homeland Security, military contracting. The reason I got into that to begin with, by the way, just kind of a passion to help people, which I was able to kind of translate into what I'm doing now. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, that's what my dad did. So kind of try to follow the father's footsteps. He went from security to police officer to starting a police department to ending up becoming a Fed. So
wow, he started a police department.
Yeah, isn't that strange? I didn't know that you could do that. Sounds like a business, but it's
private security or a real public police department.
Public police department. Yeah, they started one at the airport in Lincoln, Nebraska, actually. So a little, middle of the United States.
Wow. So you had entrepreneurship in your blood then.
Yeah. Same with my mother as well. She started her own company later too.
Really?
So, yeah.
All right. That's excellent. So tell us about what you're doing now.
Yeah. So seems like a strange leap, but I like the idea of exclusive knowledge and paired that with helping people and kind of leveraging some of those investigative skills. Mm-hmm. And now I run a business growth agency. So the agency is called Nuclear Networking. We're based out of Denver. We serve a global audience. I actually built this company to $6 million valuation and then sold it to private equity 2 years ago now.
Excellent.
And ended up rolling over equity, and I'm a partner here at DRG. So it's cool. It's just, you can appreciate this too, but there's kind of like the hustle on your own of building a company and doing everything you can. But when you can actually work in a tribe, other like-minded individuals, it becomes more gamified and it feels like you're on a sports team.
Excellent.
And, it's nice not doing it alone. So,
well, that's awesome, man. So how did you get to the point and that because of course, we're going to be pushing this out to our entrepreneur family, and they're going to want to know how you got to the 6 million valuation and how you found a potential partner or buyer. So tell us a little bit about how you ramped that up on your own.
Sure. So organic growth is the most difficult growth, especially in, and it sounds kind of ironic, but especially in this marketing service industry that we're in, mm-hmm. right? Because we work with a lot of other businesses and we solely exist to help reposition them online and find their qualifiers and then help promote those and build their revenue up. So you'd kind of think, can't you do that for yourself well?
Right.
But at the same point in time, it's like my competition isn't the roofer down the street because I'm a roofer. It's Deloitte. It's other marketing firms. And so it's
Exactly.
like competition bar raises substantially. So I grew it to a little over 3.5 million organically over, the first 3-4 years.
Mhm.
And just for entrepreneurs looking to build a company to sell or thinking about selling right now, in service industries, you only get 3 to 6x multiples on EBITDA. And so
Right.
for those, most people probably know EBITDA, but you just take kind of an adjusted net profit and multiply that times 3 or 6,
Right.
and that's your company value. And so we went to market, and I worked with an M&A firm, paid them $30,000 just to basically talk to me and put me to market. Nobody bought. And
Really?
basically, yeah. Well,
For how long? How long were you out there?
A good year.
Okay.
Yeah, and what I figured out very quickly is if you're not big enough, you are high risk, because they're like, oh, small company. You'd think small company, buy it at a discount or buy it at a lower rate, and this is good. But it's actually the opposite in business. The bigger you are, the more multiples you can get. So it's not the Costco effect. Like if you buy in bulk at Costco, you're getting a discount per unit. In business, it's the opposite, because you're more. They perceive you as more stable. And so I was like, man, how am I going to go out another 1.5-2 million on top of this thing, 3 million to actually be able to sell? And so what I ended up doing is just facilitating my own cashless merger. And so I went to my top competitors in my area. It's like take out competitors, but also kind of make your enemies your friends.
Right.
There's not enemies in this space. There's plenty of business to go around. But I met, one of the other best agency owners locally, and I'm like, look, I'll carry the football. If you want me to quarterback this roll into my company, I'll just give you stock. Instead of us owning, 5 apples and you own 5 apples, we can own 50% of 10 a piece and go to market. And ended up working.
Wow, what an ingenious idea. And maybe it's not ingenious. What a giving idea. I know in my initial entrepreneur years, and I tell this story periodically, my mindset was that, okay, I'm putting together this pie. I'm brilliant. I'm smart. I'm an expert in this particular area.
Right.
I'm organically building it. I'm doing all the work. So I want all the pie.
Yeah, sure.
Then as I got older, I said, if I eat the whole pie, I'm going to get sick.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
So I need to share this pie. And so that's what you did. You built it to organically as high as you could, and then you found someone else in probably the similar situation.
Yeah,
and the same 5 apples, and you guys merged together. Now, how was it? Were you willing to not be the lead if they wanted to be the lead? How does that part go?
Sure. It's what I learned, and this is just circumstantial, maybe to me. So it could be different for others out there, but yeah, there are still a lot of agency owners out there that are only doing 1-2 million a year top line. They might be sitting at 20% EBITDA if they're doing well. So they're profiting, 40%, or no, I'm sorry, 400K. So it's like I call it building yourself a prison. So it's like, well, I want to be an entrepreneur so I can be free. So your company's too small to sell, but it's too big to work in full time because it's stressing you out. It's taking and consuming all your life. And if you have partners, partnerships at startup phase is different than partnership at $6 million company evaluation phase. And what you start doing is people grow into different areas of expertise. Some of those are scalable, some of those aren't. And so for any given amount of reasons, even life change, somebody might want to sell. And when you realize you can't sell what you've built, that gets a little, unnerving. So, essentially just contacted a lot of these companies, and, had they said, hey, I want to lead it, it's like, okay, maybe I would need to really buy into their vision and make sure that they were motivated and make sure that they had an attention to detail and a plan and they were hitting benchmarks. That's what I held my own self to. And that's actually how I sold myself to them and built trust. It's like, here's what I'm hitting. We're selling in under 2 years, and I'll take it and go.
Wow. And you also invested and did the homework on taking it to market. You've already spent 30 grand.
Yeah.
So you probably had a really big head start on what it took and what it takes to actually be able to hit that multiple that you need and the size that you need to make the value worth somebody coming in and buying it with
Yep.
the stability and confidence that you were just talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was, ironically, we didn't even use the M&A firm who had helped us initially put together this marketing packet because we were on market for a long time. And we even, worked with them for buy side. Like, hey, can you go find us? And none of that materialized. So but to your point, it was basically an education. So I was like, oh, I already know this lingo. I know how to put together the marketing packets. I know how these adjustments and trailing 12s work, and I'll just go do it myself. And that actually worked.
Man, that's awesome. So let's go backwards a little bit, because most of my clients, most of my listeners, most of the people inside of our 24K Life community are, I'm going to guess, and I won't say solopreneurs, but they're probably under 5, staff members. So how do you suggest, and I'm not asking for an exact, I'm talking in the generalities of a service-based industry, how do you build organically to that level that you actually hit in the initial phases? I know you had to add on to it, but how do you get to the $2 million, the $2.5 million from an organic perspective?
You have to have a killer salesman.
Okay.
Like that's, really, because it's, and there are different types of entrepreneurs, right? Some of the entrepreneurs out there are engineer minded. You actually created the product, you know how the product works, and you know everything about it and love it, but you may not be able to sell it to 10 people, sitting across from you. And then there's other people who can sell things that they haven't even created yet, and then everything in between. And so what I did, sales is one of my areas of expertise, and I love education and I love connecting with people and socializing. And I knew that we had the products because my business partners were, they were actually executing the product. So I'm like, cool, we're not selling something we can't do.
Right.
Because that would be an integrity issue at that point. But so I started selling and I'm like, well, I can do this well, but it's taking too long because I'm working with one business at a time. And so what I did was I started thinking outside the box. I think this is a lot more common now, but back then I was like, well, instead of selling one business at a time, why do I should go to agencies that are not selling what I'm selling and then give them free value on the back end of their deliverables. So as an example, web design firms, every business who builds a website, the likelihood that they need marketing is pretty high. You don't build a website to never be seen. Right. And so I just offered those people, I said, look, here's the company I'm with. I'll give you a free SEO analysis, free business growth analysis, free, no obligation. They don't need to buy anything at all. Well, after you talk to 10 people, 3 or 4 of them sign up, and then 8 of them sign up, and then you just keep doing that. And now I have people feeding me leads, right?
Right.
So that's actually how I grew the quickest, was through the building affiliate relationships.
Well, man, I'm glad I asked that question because it hits home so hard for a lot of the clients that I work with. It even hits home for me in that, you don't think about, you think that because you created it, you can wear all of the hats, and you're saying, yeah, not so fast, buddy. Let's figure out what hat you can wear, and let's farm out, delegate, and figure it out. So let's say that your answer is the right answer, and I don't doubt it for 1 second. I don't doubt it. So let's say having a killer salesperson is the key. For a small agency like that, they have 3 to 5 people on their team. None of them are salespeople, right? They got somebody answering the phone. They got somebody helping them with the social media. So what is the best way, if they don't cash flow like what a real salesperson needs, what's the best way to start that relationship? Is it 100% commission? Is it commission and salaried? How do you consider that particular part?
Yeah, so I'd actually started higher up in the funnel. So back to those affiliate relationships, in addition to offering free value, one of the things I offered them was, look, I'll give you 15 to 20% of the contract value in perpetuity.
Okay.
And anybody in sales or running a business, by the way, probably wouldn't offer in perpetuity. That's not a good thing. You shouldn't pay anybody in perpetuity. It doesn't keep people hungry over time. Okay. but that's what I did. And so,
well, especially if you kill it, if you actually turn over a rock and kill the game, they're like, oh, thank you, God, for my man Tyler. He's feeding us, honey. Be nice to Tyler.
I know, right? Yeah. So yeah, all these partners that owned web design firms, I'm like, hey, look, not only am I giving you this stuff for free, I'll pay you if your clients sign up. Mm-hmm. So now all of a sudden I have an advocate on the other side too. Like, hey, how did that work with so-and-so? And they kind of help you sell it too. So I don't know, kind of ripping off Tim Ferriss, but always offering value for free is something that I think is super important.
Right.
Because everybody and their dog selling something to somebody, and they always have some sort of an angle. And it's like, look, it's a numbers game. And a lot of entrepreneurs out there might say, man, giving away things for free isn't a good business model. And I would agree, but you don't need to do this forever. Try giving something away like 30 times, just 30 people, measure it. Yeah. And then how many people actually signed up with you and see if that's sustainable. If none of them did, lesson learned, but it's not a huge cost because it's only 30 people. But if 10 of them did, maybe you should keep doing that.
That might be big. But even the best, and I know you're the best, but even the best, so your brethren,
I don't know that I'm the best.
Even your brethren recommend that. I mean, like Gary Vee talks about jab, hook. I mean, it's like free, pay me. So
exactly.
So the best are saying the same things, and it's worked for you. And it's, I'm sure, solidified your financial base for you and your soon to come newborn. Do you know if you're having a boy or a girl? Have you taken a peek yet?
Yep, having a little boy.
Oh, my man! Look, these are my two boys right there. That's
nice. Yeah, I was looking at that. That's cool.
Yeah, those are my two boys, man. They're men now, but there's nothing. I won't say there's nothing better. I don't have a girl, so I don't know. But the boys first. I have an older sister, and I just wish I had an older brother first. She's going to abuse my ass. So, dude, awesome information. So let's move over a little bit. So now, you sold your business. You're still working in it, or you've started a consulting firm and they're still working in it. What are you doing now?
Yeah. So, I still am acting CEO right now. And what's essentially happened, anybody familiar with like EOS or traction or those types of methodologies, we rebuilt out the accountability chart and I'm guilty of this, and I'm telling everybody out there, even, hey, I sold my company success story, I still can't get out.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily want to, but there's a lesson there where it's like, it would be, if I could redo this, like I would make myself not necessary prior to selling the company.
Okay.
Because, I am still the bottleneck in a lot of areas, and it's taken a lot of unwinding and hiring other people and then training them up and then hoping they're the right person. And then maybe they're not, and then doing it again. It's been like a 2-year journey of just augmenting what I bring to the table, because I cannot do all this myself.
That's because you're the man. You're just the man. What do you want?
I call it the sauce. Like I got a couple buddies. I'm like, you're the sauce. You're never getting out, man. Sorry.
Getting out.
Golden handcuffs.
You're Mr. Krabs, and you're the sauce in the safe.
Yeah.
Wow. So would you consider maybe doing like a 2-year consulting agreement or something along those lines versus what you've done, or how would you have restructured it knowing what you know now?
Well, I mean, I would only couple of lessons. I'll just kind of word vomit here, but I don't know that I was capable of successfully doing that.
Okay.
As much as I can look back and, man, this would have been nice if A, B, and C, I'm actually learning now more than ever being here, being able to level up my game, by the way, because I'm able to work with private equity partners. They're only a couple years. We're all in our 30s right now. And they're killing it. They're doing really well. Yeah. And it's kind of cool because I know digital marketing, and then I know intelligence. And like, these are really weird pockets of knowledge, and they're in this multifamily, apartment complexes here and in other states. They're doing big real estate. And I'm like, wow, I'd love to diversify my knowledge base and my revenue streams. And so I'm able to kind of invest here and there with them and pick up new knowledge.
Right.
So I wouldn't change this course. I'm super happy that I'm here.
Excellent.
But one of the things I learned over the first year I was here, I was ready to just sprint and go, get my replacement, find these quality people that bring. I failed. Like I did. I hired out of a mindset of scarcity.
Okay.
Never good to do ever. Like, I think managing and hiring in scarcity mindset is bad. And where did that mindset come from? Well, man, look at 2020. Look at the years we've just been through.
Right.
The floor has fallen out, and so. But what that led to was a lot of wasted time and money, because those people that I hired weren't the right people.
So, are you saying that you got people that I hate to, I might word this the wrong way, but you hired people that you didn't have to pay. You weren't looking to pay a premium for quality. You were looking to just get a replacement, train them up, and hopefully they were the person. Is that what you're saying?
Even worse, man. I paid a premium for that, but the rest is true. Yeah. So I paid high price for the wrong person.
Okay. So where's the scarcity mindset in that? Because you paid the ticket charge, you just didn't get the right person.
Right. Yeah. So scarcity. Yeah. To your point, not around finance. It was more of the opposite. Like, I need to win this race. I'm going to buy a Ferrari. Ferraris win races. You know what I mean? So it was more of like that knee-jerk reaction. Hire somebody. We're going in the wrong direction, and then everything breaks, and we have to start over. And so my partners here, thank God, genuinely have brought in, fractional C-levels. They've done multiple IPOs, Silicon Valley people, all the qualifiers. They're coming in, and they've done kind of a restructure. And I'm like, you know what? I can be on shows like this and more and talk about how I built and sold companies, but I've never been challenged to that extent or had to learn these things. And it's humbling, but I'm super happy I'm learning it, because I'm learning what I can and can't do. And I think we have a preconceived notion as entrepreneurs, if we build and sell something, I figured it out. I'm the sauce. Genuinely. It's like, no, you're not. You might have even gotten lucky, and you would be wise to listen to other people who have hit brick walls at 100 miles an hour, so you can dodge those yourself. So,
wow, that's deep, man. I really appreciate your perspective on that, because, most of the time, being a financial consultant, I'm telling people, you get what you pay for, so you got to pay for it.
Right.
But you also have to analyze the value and the time value, and you have to say, look, we got to be willing to win championships over the next 6 years or the next 4 years, not this year. Right. So we're going to go buy that all-star and expect to win a championship this year, and we don't win this year, and now we're going in the wrong direction.
Right.
So I get what you're saying there, and that's definitely a valuable asset for people that are looking to grow their businesses. They're looking to invest, and so hiring a premium ultimate salesperson, but they don't have the values that you host or anything else. Now you're in trouble, because they may be doing it by any means necessary, which is not, you're heart centered, and that's not, your company's more heart centered, and they're like, screw that, man, we're going for the jugular and cutting nuts off. So, and you didn't know what you were getting into when you said, I want to do this podcast.
I'm in, man.
Yeah, I love it. So what's next, man? What do we need to know next as smaller businesses that are trying to get to, that first level, that second level? What else does it take on a consistent deliverable to elevate?
Yeah, I would say so. A couple of different things I think of. One is marketing and positioning, and the other is back to M&A, partnerships in general. I'll start backwards because this one's a little quicker. Good paper makes good friends. You might have a great idea. You might be an entrepreneur. You might see a buddy. Hey, we should start a business together. We should do A, B, and C. Always get that properly papered by an attorney. Yeah, it's going to be $2,000 to $5,000. Because if you don't, you guys are going to succeed. I mean, that's best case scenario. And then you're going to look back after 2 years and go, oh, shoot, like we should have done this because life changed. And now so-and-so wants bought out, or so-and-so wants more control. Like, just make sure that, this is a foundation that you're building at the beginning, and make sure that your house is built solid. Right. So
got you.
That's a big learning lesson for me from a growth perspective. One thing, this is just how we coach other people that we work with, which is primarily businesses as well, and business owners. But before you just jump in and start buying traffic because you heard it on a podcast or a convention, and SEO and SEM and all these acronyms, we just need to do advertising. And then the moment we do ads, then people are going to buy. Think of that in any other term in your life, like dating. You're not going to meet somebody on the first date and be like, hey, you ready to get married immediately? And that's the PG version, by the way. But it's like, You would never do that. You would
Never.
build a relationship, but we don't think that way in business because we're hungry entrepreneurs, and so we're trying to close the deal quick.
Right.
So what we do is we actually run these people through a workshop, and just things for everybody listening to think about. If I lined you up with 10 of your other competitors in an auditorium of 50,000 people, and I gave you 10 seconds to tell me why we should work with you, what would you say?
Right.
And if your answer is Better Business Bureau, we've been in business for 15 years and we're family owned, it's like, man, you and the 5,000 people behind you, none of that is impressive. Yes, it's honorable, but having a core differentiator and being able to stick out in the crowd, especially in today's, culture, like we call them scroll stoppers, you got to get people's attention quick, and it's got to be value that they would feel stupid saying no to. And so
really,
we help them come up with those objectives, and then we start driving traffic to those objectives. So
okay. So company A, service oriented. You said, first of all, what is your unique value? Like, what is your unique value that you offer? And then we have to figure out a scroll stopping offer, like a free giveaway, a lead magnet. Is that what you're suggesting? Or
sure. Yeah, Tripwire, downloadable, guarantees are big right now because everybody talks a big game. But if you say, hey, I'll do this, and if it doesn't work, I'll give you all your money back. Not a lot of companies can do that, but why wouldn't you do that? You know what I mean? Like if I ever saw that, hey, work with us and we'll grow your company 10x, or we'll give your money back, I'm like, done.
I'm in.
I'm in all the way. Like, you just lowered my risk significantly. And ironically, if you do have a system like that, you can charge 3 times more than the guy down the street doing the same thing because you have that guarantee. So
because you're guaranteeing it.
Yeah, that's right. So
that's awesome. What a great idea. I mean, dude, you're dropping dimes, man. People are going to come back for more and more. I popped up your how to get a hold of you so that they can come straight to the source and figure out how to make their company nuclear and blow it up so that they can grow and build stronger financial foundations. Yeah. So we're in this universe where when you do go out to market, especially from a social platform perspective, which is kind of like the best newspaper you can get a hold of in comparison to, so you're young, but I'm over 50. So back in the day, you had to put an ad in the paper.
Right.
So they didn't change the paper's algorithms all the time.
Right.
The newspaper was the newspaper. And if you were in this section, you were in that section. If you bought a page ad, it was a page ad. Nowadays, it just appears that you go to advertise and they change, the views, they change who can see it, they change how they can see it. What's your thoughts about that? Let's put it this way, let's back up a little bit. And let's say, how can a company gear up successfully to be able to afford an expert like you? And I don't even know what you charge. So I'm not saying it's expensive or it's inexpensive. I don't know. Sure. I'm just simply saying, let's just say it's not in their budget today. Sure. So how do they gear up, especially with what I just said? They figure, I'm going to put these ads out there. And I kind of did what he said. I put a lead magnet out there. Maybe they're kind of scared to guarantee it because they don't cash flow enough. Whatever money comes in, they're spending. So they don't want to guarantee it because they're like, if they want their money back, I don't have it. So what would you say to that? I know it's a long ass question, but what would you say?
No, you're good. Yeah, there's different ways to kind of think about this. So one, instead of money back guarantee, there's other ways. By the way, I mean, the short answer is workshops. These workshops are like 2 to 4 hours, and they're recorded by AI, and we segment that out by intent and then repurpose that for ad copy. There's a lot involved. So the short answer is that exercise helps find everything, not just the best offer, but what is your budget? What can you afford? How can we reverse engineer that? Because if it's services based, you may not be cash flowing, but you have time. You might have time. And so it's like, we guarantee that, X or Y will happen, or we work for free. It's like, cool. So now you just work for free in perpetuity until you actually crack that. And if you can't crack it, you actually should reassess your business.
Your offer sucks, man.
Yeah, well, it's like you're
not even an offer. Your product isn't any good. Right. You can't crack it.
Oh, I got to tell you, and I got to throw this out there a little bit.
Tell me, man. I can't wait. I want to hear it.
Later, depending on I don't know. I've thought about creating websites for this. I don't know if you've ever heard of Ripoff Report or other things like that. It's kind of like beware of these.
Okay,
Yeah, and I'm like, man, why doesn't the agency world have one of these? because I've worked with I've worked with some founders who, back to your product sucks thing, it's like once in a blue moon that happens, and we do our best due diligence. It's like, man, we work with somebody who was selling, hope to God I don't offend anybody, but like Microsoft Word training.
Okay.
And I'm like, you mean what I can get on YouTube for free? and now all of a sudden, and I'm kind of using hyperbole a little bit, but it wasn't too far off from that. It's like, they've hired 5 marketing companies and they fire all of them, and then they actually chase them and sue them. Wow. And I'm like, so this is like an integrity issue business model that I assume, but I can't. But it's like, man, you cannot force humans to buy your product. Right. I can't do it. You can't do it. No one can. We can heavily influence them. We can repurpose them. The good news is, back to, could you take out an ad in the paper or put up on a billboard? You could. You're just kind of shotgunning it into the world. The cool thing with technology and some of the algorithm changes that you talked about is, for the most part, those continue to improve targeting. Okay. So it's like, if you know that you're only targeting people who love rockets and, AI and this, that, and the other, and they're this age group in this part of the country, I mean, like, you can get really, really specific. So, So I guess from a finance perspective, to answer your question, it's a lot better, because as technology increases and targeting improves, you don't need to just throw tons of money at it. You can throw a lot less money, but it's hyper specific. It's like sniper marketing instead of shotgun marketing, right? Okay.
So let me ask you this question, man. And I know I shouldn't say it, but hey, this is my podcast. So, so do ClickFunnels work?
Does ClickFunnels work?
Does ClickFunnels work?
So I'm going to answer that differently than you're asking it.
Wait a minute, look, you go.
No, you're good. The concept works.
Okay.
So I'm not advocating for, and nothing against Russell, like, good guy, good brand, good everything. We have a mutual friend who, I've never met the guy, but one of my buddies, Spencer, he's a killer sales guy. He's worked in like telecom sales, MLM, solar, and I know his platform well. I prefer Go High Level right now. Okay. And so Go High Level is very similar to ClickFunnels. The ClickFunnels methodology, I think, is what you're talking about. And yeah, it's like, and that's very similar, right? It's like, generate a specific offer. And just for everybody else out there listening who doesn't know what ClickFunnels is yet, it's a concept of, instead of driving people to your website where they have home, about us, a whole services drop-down menu, contact page, blogs about you and your walk with your dog, and just massive amounts of information, and 90% of people are looking at your site on a cell phone. So now they're already like, where do I go and what do I do?
Exactly.
ClickFunnels is one offer. Do you need a roof? Free inspection. With every free inspection, $25 Starbucks gift card. Don't wait until your ceiling is leaking to get a free roof inspection. You have nothing to lose. Click here. Like, it's like just really simple. And one of the methodologies we use is, if a 5-year-old or your grandmother can't understand what to do in under 10 seconds of getting to your website, you're doing it wrong. And if you can make it ultra simple, hold their hand all the way through it, platforms like ClickFunnels and GHL, they will automate a lot of that for you. So it's like, yeah, I like this. Great. Sign up here for your free inspection. Enter your zip code, enter your phone number, select a date and your Calendly link. And then you have AI chatbots that answer questions, or a text that automatically, hey, your technician will be there in 2 hours. His name's Bob. Here's a picture of him. Like, all that could be automated. And so I am not only an advocate for that model, that is all I do myself. Okay. So I build and sell companies, and before I even build websites anymore, I will just set up a funnel to very quickly learn, what do people really care about and what don't they? And then I take that learning and apply it to a real website.
Okay. So what's the difference? And if I'm putting you on the spot, don't worry about it.
You're good. Yeah.
You can let it go. But so you said you prefer the high level over the ClickFunnels. So why?
Sure. Mainly, it's probably styling preference. I mean, from a cost perspective, I think GHL is a little bit more friendly for marketers out there, even entrepreneurs. If somebody's, here's alternatives, I guess. Salesforce, way too heavy, man. Like, for most small businesses, it's going to be too expensive. And then you also need to hire this is just my experience. Maybe this changes in the future, but you need to hire people to actually help you learn how to use it and then to make changes for you. And you need to pay licensing. It's very strange.
Right. I looked at Salesforce one time, man, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to go to Fiverr.
Yeah, there you go.
To find somebody to manage this, because this is crazy.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's heavy. So, and then HubSpot, right? That's kind of the middle ground. It's still primo just in terms of pricing. They get you in, cheaper, but if you want this marketing automation sequences that
Right.
ClickFunnels and GHL offers, it gets way more expensive. And so GHL as an agency, I think we pay $400 a month for unlimited licenses.
Wow.
So I could have 40,000 different partners on my platform. They don't pay a dime. We give it away for free.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I like GHL.
All right. Excellent. I love it. That's great. That's a great answer. Solid, man. So a company. So let me tell you about my company. So I have an investment company where we do retirements and investment for people. Most of our clients are older. We also have a company that gets people out of debt and helps them fix their credit. So we have two separate companies that do those things. And then I have my 24K Life personal brand. And my idea is to, because I wasn't smart enough not to name my companies outside of my name, I named them Gant Investment Advisors. And, the other company I did name outside my name, which was Smarter. But because, of where they are, I'm like, as I transition, and nobody in my family or my sons want to take over, I'm like, I really want to move my business into this personal brand where I'm actually selling or providing financial literacy. Okay.
Yep.
So ultimately I want to do what we're doing. I want to provide content, and I want to deliver how to, get your money right, how to build it, how to keep it, how to grow your business, those type of things. So there's a lot of personal brands out there doing something. I'm using me as an example since I'm here. So how would you recommend that a company like that? So I'm starting a brand new deal, and it's going to be financial literacy. We're taking all of our 30 years of experience, or better yet, our 3 decades. That made me sound as old. Our 3 decades of experience, and we're transitioning it into financial products and services. How would you, as a marketer, say, okay, well, you have a personal brand. How are we going to get you to where you really want to be? Which is, I want to be you. I want to be Grant Cardone. I want to be Gary Vee. I want to be, Russell or whoever. So Russell's not doing it on his personal brand, but you know what I'm saying. The guys that are doing it on their personal brand. How would you instruct me or advise me in general, or as specific as you want, to grow that brand, that business, that model?
So I'm
I saw you grab some paper. Like, hey, I need to grab some paper too.
Sure, you're good. So so the first thing I think I've read out of the gate is like you have several different deliverables within different brands right now, right? And it sounds to me like you're looking to kind of consolidate that, convert 100%. It to a legacy business that you can kind of pass down, and then create content delivery systems and more. So I thought of that as you're telling me. I'm like, oh yeah, like Grant Cardone, 10x life. He has to do everything 10 times.
24K, 10x.
Yeah. Exactly. So what I would look at right now, and I actually know quite a bit about this space because I do a lot of investing as well, is that as a consumer, right? I'm not advising. But I also raise funds. I put together deals. I'm the GP on several deals, and we go out and buy companies. Right. And so, what I would look at is like, who's at the market right now? Like, let's bring this down to a bare minimum. And this is the part where I tell you don't have to share if you don't want to share. But like most financial advisors charge 1% to 2% of assets under management. That's how they make money. There you go. Yeah. See, that's a good rate. So it's like cool. So if that is the core business model and that's the revenue generator, I have a lot of financial advisors and they don't offer all that stuff that you're talking about. Like this financial content. They don't have podcasts. They don't offer, the financial literacy, any training, investment strategies, products. They may not even have the 30 years. They just have some big name and they're reselling, somebody financial services and insurances and life insurance policies and all that. Right. So I think if you're already charging market, because you had mentioned earlier that you have this group, right? That you have kind of like a personal, I would almost call it like personal coaching, right?
Right.
And then you have your investment arm. I'm like, man, the first thing I do if we were business partners is like, let's consolidate all deliverables in one brand. Let's give the people what they already expect from a price perspective, 1.25, 1.5. But in addition to financial investing, which you're already going to do with somebody if they fit your demographic profile, you also get to be a part of this mastermind. You get access to these master classes. You get access to podcasts. Once a month, we do a webinar. You can jump in and do live Q&A. Maybe you could do live hosting on a podcast. You have chat stream. We do something right there. We're answering questions in real time. And then you start bringing on other guests, as you're already doing, and basically just adding free value. So all that additional value that you're adding is what's going to set you apart. And then, of course, to bump up, viewership and more back to free value. It's like, hey, look, we're doing A, B, and C, or giving away X, Y, and Z, or just fun little things to grab engagement. Right. One of the things I'm really big on, back to the beginning of the conversation, is affiliate programs. By the way, I'm not a licensed broker, and I don't know what's illegal and not legal. So throwing that out there. That disclaimer, right? Yeah, but that aside, I'm like, man, if you're selling a subscription to a consortium or this mastermind where you just get all of this education and it's continuing to evolve and grow, and that's the buy-in. Maybe it's $99 a year or something if they don't invest with you, but if they do invest with you, they get it for free. Right. All of a sudden you can give away like 2 months for free or 3 months for free, and maybe like 9 out of 10 of these are free education, and then 1 out of 10 email drips is, hey, if you sign up with us, here's our blah blah blah. And so there's a lot of strategy there, but I like the consolidation to eliminate future brand confusion and just doing everything that you're doing but under one brand, and adding that additional value should build up your user base, because other people are not doing that.
No, I know, and that's the hard part. Right. You're like, nobody's doing it, and the people that being I don't like to say I'm a minority, but being an African American and being 13% of the population, there's so many people that don't have money. Because I told you we manage money for people that have money, right? They've worked somewhere for 40 years, and they have a couple $1 million. But there's so many people who don't. Do you know that 51% of people making six figures, 51% are still living check to check?
Yeah. Why is that? They don't live within their means, and I'm not even a judge, but it's like, oh, I got the money, I got to buy that next car, I got to do A, B, and C. We're investing in. I think of like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I think it's like they're investing in liabilities, not assets.
Exactly. So that's my vision, right? Those are the people that we want to bring in and say, look, we're going to offer all this value. And I'm not going to hog the show. I'm going to call you after the show and get on your schedule so we can talk about this, because I'm serious about transitioning. I'm 56, man. I'm transitioning into a different phase, and I don't ever want to not do something. So I don't want to say, I'll never say I'm retired. So I'm thinking about what can I do that's fun, exciting, that I can do for a long time. And create a lot of value. So, I'll hit you up afterwards, but what else? Oh, go, you want to say something? Go for it.
I do, man. I want to add one more thing. I think it's good for the listeners too, but back to your positioning. So what Grant Cardone does, there's a lot of different ways that you can collect investments. And so a lot of listeners out there, you might have some aspiring entrepreneurs who don't yet have wealth.
Right.
And they're like, dang, man, I can't work with either of you guys because I don't have money. I don't have money for marketing. I don't have money for investing. And what cart before the horse, how does this work? So one of the interesting vehicles, you could do this as well. You could have it as an offering or bring in partners that do this. But there are different schedules that you can file for raising and taking money from people,
right?
And investing that, right? So you already know this.
Probably, absolutely.
For listeners, it's like you can go be a participant in a huge, apartment complex in Miami with Grant Cardone tomorrow. Now the portion's going to be small. They're going to charge you management fees and all this stuff, but it's like there are ways still for you to be a part of those bigger deals as what they call a non-qualified investor. You don't have
unaccredited
that's
investor.
Right. That's right. So it's like, for me, if you're working at a restaurant job right now, because that's where I spent 9 years, of my life before getting into the law enforcement, Fed space, and then this, it's like I could be putting money into, X, Y, and Z, or just saving it in a jar. And it's like, what if you put $20 a week? That's it, away, right, and you start doing these micro things. And I think that like having that entry level could be a cool thing too.
Yeah. Well, I actually see myself and my potential as the buffer between being broke and being able to do a grant deal, right? Mm-hmm. Because he'll say he'll go on a tirade about, you're wasting your money if you have $5,000 in the bank. Well, it's easy to say when you have, $500 million. But for, a solid financial foundation says you need an emergency fund and don't put your last dime out there because your car breaks down and you're screwed. So I really do see myself as that buffer person that says, look, let's get you in a position to get in those deals healthily.
Yep.
Right? And because there's a reason why they have different levels, unaccredited and accredited.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
Most of my real serious coaching clients, we're trying to get them to become accredited investors.
That's cool.
And but between that unaccredited and credit, it's like, let's get your finances in right. If you're living check to check and you make $180,000, we can fix that fast, but you got to be willing. And you got to see a bigger, brighter, better future for yourself. Yeah. I'm gonna call you, man. You think I'm joking, man? Listen, straight up. The reason why I have 24K Life, and I wrote a book called The 24K Life Code. The only difference between mediocrity and greatness. Go look at the cover of 10X, and then you'll figure out what I was doing.
Yeah.
And so I really, honestly, do see myself as that buffer financial person. That includes the mindset information, that includes the goal setting and the habits and the way, like, because people say I set a goal. So I want to lose some weight. I want to drop some weight. That's okay. Skip lunch.
Right. Yeah.
It's not a goal.
I know. Right? Yeah.
So anyway, man, but this has been exhilarating. It's been exciting. I've learned a ton. I've never even thought about, I have talked to somebody about an M&A regarding my investment company, and merging that under somebody else's umbrella doesn't have their name as the title of the company. But great information, great insights. Do you have any parting advice? I'm going to pop up your information here again so everybody can reach out to you. And for those that are on the podcast, it is nuclearnetworking.com. It is nuclearnetworking.com. My man, Tyler. Go ahead, Tyler. Any last parting words wisdom words, financial words, profit point, anything?
Prophecy.
Hey, we'll take prophecy too.
Prophecy and blessings coming everybody's way right now.
Hey, my kind of language.
So, just two pieces. One, I am willing to meet and chat with anybody, and it doesn't matter if you're ready to market, not marketing, you're starting a business, you've been doing it for 50 years and you're unsatisfied and you're looking to actually have a positive impact, because philanthropy and like helping humans is a whole another area of passion of mine.
Right.
I'm happy to meet you regardless of where you're at. I just like meeting people.
Excellent.
Second from that, if you are an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, highly, highly, highly recommend finding mentors, and mentors specific to your niche who have experience and they've done these things before. Where can you find those? Did you know that the SBA actually offers small business mentorship for free?
I did know that.
Wow, a lot of people don't know that. You can call them and ask.
Find the link and drop it in the bio stuff.
Yeah. So the one rule there that you can't, and back to discipline, and that's kind of what you were speaking to in undertones, 100%. Is like you cannot rely on energy and motivation, only discipline, because motivation will ebb and flow. A discipline is a lifestyle change, and how you do one thing is how you do everything. So there's all these cliche things, right? If you're if you're not making your bed with, JP, then you're probably not running your business well either, or whatever. But the only rule I have is keep your mentor separate from your prospects and every other relationship. You have to hold that relationship sacred. That means
don't try to sell your mentor.
Do it, man. Don't sell your mentor and don't ask them for money, because if you will defile that relationship and
quickly.
You want unbiased, candid and trustworthy feedback, and that's the best way to keep that relationship clean.
Man, that is great advice. I have never thought about it that way, but I've never thought about asking a mentor for money, business, or anything else that they offer, and usually they offer in the terms of a referral. Like, you should talk to Sam, and, but that's a great point. And I think that anybody that hears that violates that deserves what they get.
Yeah. Yep. And it's tempting sometimes because you're hungry, you want to make sales, you want to win, and you trust this person.
Right.
But don't do it.
Don't do it. Stay away.
Yep.
Excellent, brother. Well, let me close up, and you stay right there, and I'm going to chop it up with you a second, okay?
All righty.
Excellent. Hey, you heard those words of wisdom. I mean, I told you it was going to be nuclear. For you small companies, you companies 1 to 10, and you're really working hard, thinking about how you can exponentially grow. You've heard about your multiple for your service-based industries. You want to take advantage of that. Maybe you're still a little too small. Make sure you reach out. Tyler can help you. He will take a call, as he indicated, big or small. He will take a call. Tyler's going to put me in marketing. That was dope. I like that. So listen, I'm Derick Gant. I want you to like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. We appreciate every view, and when you share it, it helps more people expand, grow, and do the things they need to do to become better. I'm Derick Gant. Be your best. Bring your best. Leave nothing to chance.